Welcome to the show, folks. As usual, COVID-19 cases first, then on to some of the other topics that you, the viewers, are waiting for. COVID-19, New Oasis County, we're at 34,215 deaths, plus the 260 deaths. 632 cases, that's the cases, 632 deaths plus 6, which brings it up to 638. And in the state of Texas, 2.7 million, 7,814. None have recovered, 35,224. We're looking to know well. No new cases, 147, which now brings up to 147. So, and for testing, if you have the coronavirus, you need to contact the public health district at this number, which I'm not going to show because I don't want you calling fake testing. But if you're in the state of Texas. The cases are on the rise, and so far nothing's being done about it. So again, the only thing that needs to be done about this is you need to start wearing masks at all times. Period. There's no but. There's no if. There's no and. There's no excuse. Unless you have a medical condition or if you're under 10 years old. And don't start the anti-masking where you cannot wear masks. No. That is forbidden. You may have rights to free speech, you have the right to protest and all that crap, but it's not going to happen. And if it is happening here in New Oasis County, that's another topic you won't miss, like mixing chicken and rice. And it's not okay to be going out and protesting. It's just not right. Numbers are risen. The virus is spreading, and no one knows the words social distancing. Being within 6 feet. You have to be within 6 feet apart. There are signs that say you must be 6 feet. Sporting events, restaurants. The only time you can take off your mask is if you're in a restaurant. That's it. That's the only time you should be able to take off your mask is if you're going to be eating at the restaurant. All the other places, you need to wear a mask immediately, especially at work. The mask has to be at the nose. It cannot be down here or to the chin. It has to be at the bridge of the nose. That's it. I ain't repeating this over and over again until I'm going to be repeating this until you guys get tired. And I don't want to have a repeat of Friday's Give Me a Break where this woman decided to start an anti-masking where no one's allowed to wear masks. Wearing a mask is a very, very big deal. A very, very big deal. And if you don't believe me, look at the numbers. And if you're going to sit there and say numbers are fake, the numbers are real. They're not fake. The numbers are provided from the district health county, from your county's health district. And they do the research. If you just sit there and look up the numbers in your state and you say it's fake, try me. Because I guarantee you it is real. And you may think this isn't right. It is right. The numbers are right, the numbers don't lie, and the numbers are not fake. The numbers are real from your city health district. Let's not have a repeat, and you don't believe this woman. If she wants to spread lies, that's her choice. Many people have died from COVID because of you people. I'm not saying because of you people out there in Los Angeles. Your Los Angeles County, your numbers are going high because you were the ones who decided, because of you people, you anti-maskers, you decided to go out and say, let's not wear masks because the numbers are fake. The numbers are real. And these people are experts. They know what they're doing. They have jobs. As a matter of fact, the numbers are going high from 1 million probably to 2 million if you don't stop this goofing around, stop this anti-mask goofing around. I don't want to bring Rochelle from Everybody Hates Chris unless I have to. And if I have to, then I will. And if I had to get the soundboard, I will. But don't make me. Isn't that right? Oh, you're lucky. You're lucky that there's no soundboard by the name of Everybody Hates Chris. You guys are lucky. Coming up, the Senate is going to receive the article of impeachment that's triggering the Trump trial. We'll have CBS News and ABC News next. So stay with us. It's finally going to happen. Trump's second impeachment trial. The first one was because for betraying America. Now it's all about the Washington mob. Here is the latest from CBS and ABC News. Let's start with CBS.
With thousands of National Guards surrounding the Capitol and law enforcement warning of new violent threats against lawmakers, the Senate is barreling towards an impeachment trial tonight. Republicans are now crying foul after Democrats announced one of their own will preside over the proceedings, 80-year-old Patrick Leahy of Vermont, though that is what the Constitution allows.
He basically is operating as a judge and a juror, and he's got a conflict of interest.
With the trial set to begin in 2 weeks, 17 Republicans will be needed to convict Mr. Trump, and none so far have said they would.
I think the trial is stupid. I think it's counterproductive.
With some calling it an unconstitutional sham that should be boycotted. But most constitutional scholars acknowledge a former president can be impeached.
The theory that the Senate can't try former officials would amount to a constitutional get-out-of-jail-free card for any president who commits an impeachable offense.
New threats against lawmakers involved in the impeachment trial are once again putting Congress on edge, with law enforcement sources telling CBS News social media chatter includes talk of attacking members of Congress as they travel to and from the Capitol. As a result, 5,000 National Guard will remain in Washington through March. One of the January 6th rioters arrested last week for allegedly assaulting a federal officer, Scott Fairlamb of New Jersey, is reportedly the brother of a Secret Service agent who led former First Lady Michelle Obama's security detail. And we're learning tonight nearly 140 police officers who responded to the riot here at the Capitol were injured during that unrest. Looking ahead to tomorrow, all 100 senators will be sworn in as impeachment jurors, and a summons will be sent to President Trump. Nora?
Chris Van Cleve at the Capitol, thank you.
And I agree. This was just about the votes. Joe Biden won. There's no need to go out there and go protest. And here's the latest from World News Tonight.
Good evening. As we come on the air in the West tonight, it is great to have you with us as we start another week together here. And we have several developing stories as we come on the air tonight. The coronavirus, what President Biden said late today about when he believes American. Tonight with the other major story playing out as we come on the air tonight. Just moments ago, members of the House of Representatives delivered the article of impeachment over to the Senate. Former President Trump charged with incitement of insurrection. The Senate trial comes next, the first president ever to be impeached twice,
Yes.
the first former president to face an impeachment trial after leaving office. We remember that image, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi signing the document hours after the House voted to impeach. You'll also remember 10 Republicans in the House joining the Democrats, the House managers right there with Speaker Pelosi, who will now make their case against the former president in the trial. They're expected to focus their case on what members of Congress lived through and witnessed themselves. Millions of Americans watching, too, the storming of the Capitol that turned deadly. Members of Congress rushed to safety. And they will point to the president's words at that rally that came just before the storming of the Capitol and what he repeatedly claimed about the election for weeks leading up to the riots. Tomorrow, the senators will be sworn in as jurors. We have already reported
Yes.
here. Senate leaders have agreed to delay the actual start of the trial. And this time, Chief Justice John Roberts will not preside over the trial. So tonight, who will? And where do things stand among Republicans? Democrats would need 17 Republicans to join them to convict. ABC's Rachel Scott on the Hill tonight, leading us off.
So again, 17 of the people had to vote for that trial. That's in 2 weeks. Let me play it for you.
Tonight, history unfolding. House impeachment managers delivering their article of impeachment to the Senate.
Donald John Trump engaged in high crimes and misdemeanors by inciting violence against the government of the United States.
It has been just 19 days since that deadly mob of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol, egged on by the president himself in a desperate effort to overturn the election.
If you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. We're going to walk down and I'll be there with you.
Rioters making it clear they were following the call from their leader.
There's a million of us out there, and we are listening to Trump, your boss.
Capitol police officers crushed in the throng, screaming for help. Democrats say that since then, the case against Trump has only grown stronger.
He has not demonstrated remorse. He has not even acknowledged his role in the events of January 6th. And he has never disavowed the lies that were fed to the American people by him about who actually won the election.
The single article of impeachment charges that the president's offenses extend beyond his words at that rally. It also accuses him of trying to subvert and obstruct the results of the election by pressuring the Georgia Secretary of State to find nearly 12,000 votes to help him win.
So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
Democrats claim Trump gravely endangered the security of the United States and its institutions of government.
He threatened the integrity of the democratic system.
The big question tonight, will Trump be convicted? Democrats need 17 Republican senators to vote with them. A handful, like Mitt Romney, seem open.
Incitement to insurrection is an impeachable offense. If not, what is?
Other Republicans attacking the whole idea of putting the former president on trial.
I think the trial is stupid. I think it's counterproductive. We already have a flaming fire in this country, and it's like taking a bunch of gasoline and pouring it on top of the fire.
We're going to hear these arguments in the days and weeks ahead. Rachel Scott up on the Hill tonight. And Rachel, tomorrow senators, of course, will be sworn in as jurors. But we know Senate leaders have already agreed the trial itself won't get underway until the week of February 8th. And tonight you've also learned that Chief Justice John Roberts will not be presiding. That's a change from the first Trump impeachment trial. You'll fill us in on that. And what do we know among Republicans tonight? That key number, Democrats would need 17 for a conviction of the former president.
And David, Republican leader Mitch McConnell has said that he is keeping an open mind. He has not yet decided how he will vote in this trial. And so far, we have not heard from a single Republican senator who says they plan to vote to convict former President Donald Trump. And you mentioned that change with who will preside over this impeachment trial. The Constitution says the Chief Justice will preside over impeachment trial of the president. But Donald Trump is no longer in office. So now you'll see Senator Patrick Leahy step in to preside over this trial. He's the longest serving member of the majority party, and he will be taking a special oath to do impartial justice. But Leahy, as a sitting U.S. Senator, will also have a vote as a juror, David.
All right, Rachel Scott leading us off on this Monday night with the breaking news.
I agree. So coming in 2 weeks, the former president will be impeached, and he will not also run. He won't run for president anymore. But we're going to see what happens in those 2 weeks and for tomorrow, and we'll bring you the results on a future Give Me a Break. We'll bring you the results on Give Me a Break Wednesday. But for now, we still have more Give Me a Break to cover, so stay with us. We'll be right back. Going back to COVID-19, the question is, how does the second COVID vaccine work? Well, we're going to listen to a medical expert.
Received their first dose of the COVID vaccine and now getting ready to have their second dose. 3 News medical contributor Dr. Salim Sourani was among the first healthcare workers in the Coastal Bend to get the vaccine. He explains how the second dose is supposed to work.
When you get the second shot, it's called a booster dose. And then when you get exposed to the same virus again, the body says, I know this virus, let's start making more antibody. So it becomes more immunogenic, and the patient antibody titers goes really high.
And he says if you did not experience any side effects after the first dose of the vaccine, that it is possible you'll feel a little bit more after getting the second shot. It's possible, he says. And he says side effects like fatigue or muscle soreness are perfectly normal and that there is no need to worry.
I agree. And there's more vaccines coming here in Nueces County. About 5,500 in mega clinics are scheduled. And it's set for tomorrow. And that's scheduled, and all that vaccines being set for tomorrow. So we can pray to hope that those 2 vaccines would help, and we can try to make sure everyone gets their shot as close to possible as we get. I'll be back in a moment. Finally, last season we talked about being suspended from school, looking at news articles and all that stuff, but these 2 just came to me. This was from Clyde High School, which was a woman who was suspended for painting her nails, which violated the school dress code.
You wondering who ate all the pretzels?
Now listen, the school dress code is supposed to help you. They have a strict dress code because they're trying to teach people and children that when you leave school, you're going to have to look your best when you go apply for jobs and colleges. And the rules of every school district is that the teacher, is that the principal has to enforce dress code that's being put in place in this school. So here's the latest. Take a look.
Our Dan Booth sat down with this student to learn more about this complicated situation.
So here's the latest.
Returning from Thanksgiving break, one student at Clyde High School says he's received in-school suspensions for having his nails painted.
Our Dan Booth sat down with this student to learn more about this complicated situation.
Started to take off my backpack, and my teacher goes, "Trevor, can you come with me?"
Under the current Clyde High School dress code, boys are not allowed to paint their nails. Clyde senior Trevor Wilkinson says he thinks this policy is sexist and can be offensive to people with different sexual orientations.
Ever since I came out, I have been having more issues at Clyde than what I normally would. So I really wasn't surprised that this was a thing. Clyde is very traditional.
According to Wilkinson, he had a meeting with his principal and vice principal to discuss the situation, and they gave him 3 options.
One was to go on remote until January when everyone else came back. The second was to go home and take it off and enjoy class regularly, or stay in ISS and keep my nails on. And that's exactly what I did, and I'm going to do.
The Abilene Pride Alliance is urging the Clyde School Board to change this policy because they say policies like this have been seen as discriminatory on the federal level.
The current school board and the current administration, they're not responsible for those policies that came about before they were probably even born. What they are responsible for is their implementation, or whether or not they enforce them. They're also responsible now for whether or not they continue.
In an effort to change the policy and bring awareness, Wilkinson started a petition that has thousands of electronic signatures from people who sympathize with his situation.
We're not bound by the opinions of the people that came before us. We shouldn't be. We learn new things every day. It's part of the human experience. It's part of being alive to grow and to change.
It is okay to be who you are, and it is okay to express yourself, and it is okay to be you, and you should be you. You should never feel afraid to be yourself. You should never be afraid of what people are going to think, because at the end of the day, the only opinion that matters is yourself.
The Clyde Consolidated Independent School District put out a statement addressing the situation, saying they go through a thorough review of the dress code each year, and all parents and students are provided a copy of the dress code before each school year begins. For BigCountryHomepage.com, I'm Dan Booth.
Dan, the superintendent says feedback will be used as they assess the dress code later on this school year. As of right now, the petition to change the policy has over 11,000 signatures.
Well, he's entitled to his opinion, yes. But I beg to differ. That school dress code has been put in place since school has started. And it's up to the principal to enforce those rules. I mean, in this case here, he was entitled to his opinion. I understand that, but the rules have changed. If it states you cannot paint your boys are not allowed to paint their nails, then they're not allowed to paint their nails. That's simple as that. You cannot paint your nails. And in this case, 3 options. He chose to stay in school suspension. He chose going in school suspension. He should have chose to got the nails and continue his education.
Or kill.
But in school suspension will help, but they should have asked him to take out the nails and continue his education. They should just the options are not there. Alright, finally, this student was suspended from maybe again. Now, I'm all for protecting students, but the horse is out of the barn in this case. Weapons are strictly prohibited from school because of those school shootings. I'm not going to show you this whole entire article, but I'm going to give you some. He was given a 6-day suspension for bringing that gun. And I'm going to tell you right now, guns. You should not be taking guns with you to school because they're dangerous. Very, very dangerous. And I agree. Coming up on Give Me a Break Wednesday, there's more of these suspended people. Like I've dealt with this before. I'm going to deal with this until there's no more. This was really big school season from CNN. This high school cheerleader was suspended for an explicit Snapchat. We'll hear from her, and then more topics. So look for that coming up on Give Me a Break Wednesday. Well, that's it for now. For Give Me a Break Wednesday, we'll see you. Just look for that tomorrow on Give Me a Break Wednesday. Well, that's it for now for Give Me a Break Monday. We thank you for watching. I'm in touch, so you be in touch. I'll see you Wednesday. Good night, everyone.